Okay, welcome to today's class on Anaxagoras, the next pre-Socratic philosopher. So, just like Empedocles before him, he was very concerned with answering Parmenides' question of how can something come from nothing. Now, you remember that Parmenides' answer was, well, nothing can come from nothing, and this led him to some very strange conclusions. It led him to the conclusion that there was no motion, there was no empty space, nothing moved, it just all sat there, all motion was illusory, all something coming from nothing was illusory, and really that couldn't possibly be the case. Now, this was a big problem for Empedocles. It was a problem, and it was a problem for Anaxagoras. This nothing can come from nothing, and so he pondered how things could come into being. How could something be born, like a baby, for example, when before there was no baby? Well, one of the answers that he came up with, it's really quite an astonishing answer. Perhaps it's just me that finds it astonishing, but he says, okay, everything is in everything. It seems to me that this is the major start for Anaxagoras' thought and how he solved the problem of how something can come from nothing. You remember I spoke about Empedocles. He basically said there were these four elements and they were mixed in different proportions. Well, Anaxagoras, he thinks something similar but still different, and we'll come to see exactly why. He claims that yes, everything is in a mixture of everything else. So if we take something like this tissue paper, in this tissue paper there's gold, there are horses, there are teeth, there's literally everything that could possibly be imagined in seed form inside everything else. Now, he was able to come to this conclusion because he said a few other things as well. Firstly, he believed that things could be infinitely divided. And so not only were they infinitely big, but they were infinitely small as well. Now, this means that if you go really small, in everything you can find perhaps everything. He thought that the seeds of all the other things which had ever existed would be inside even the smallest atom, because that isn't the smallest atom. You could divide that down like it's another universe. And because of this, it's possible to see what he's talking about with this everything is in everything. And it was the only way he could understand something coming from nothing. Because if everything is in everything, something doesn't come from nothing. And when something is born, something suddenly leaps into existence, it was actually always there as a seed in the object which didn't look like it at first. Okay? I hope that's clear. So just to try and make it clearer, because it's perhaps quite an obscure idea, these seeds which he talks about as being that which contains all the seeds of everything else as well, they're infinite in number. There's a lot of infinites here. He had to solve this problem, Parmenides' problem, with a lot of infinites. They're infinite in number, these seeds, so you could perhaps call these seeds like atoms. It was what was an early form of atomism, but still not the same as Democritus, who's the next philosopher, and he's a real atomist. But these seeds were infinite in number. Okay, infinite in number. They were infinite in size, so they could be very, very big, or very, 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 very small. And that's it. They were infinitely divisible, so they could be infinitely small. I think that he was trying to answer Zeno's paradox here of the tortoise and Achilles. Distances can be infinitely divided. I don't know if that's an answer to Zeno's paradox or